Hello, everyone, and welcome back to No FOMO Charts live streams for stocks and crypto TA charts. Just want to remind everyone that the live streams for now are back, and I'm going to be doing stocks and crypto TA charts here on my YouTube channel only to start off. Please keep in mind that I'm still doing YouTube videos, X, and TradingView as well for written chart ideas. Thanks everyone for watching. Let's go and start off with the news watch list for this week. We have USA stocks earnings releases are continuing this week. We have Home Depot, as well as Cisco, as well as Walmart for this week. And this is the week of May 10, 2024, May 13th week as well. So just keep in mind that the economic data coming out, PPI, core PPI, Fed Chair Powell speech, CPI, core CPI, and retail core retail sales, as well as Empire State Manufacturing Index, unemployment claims, building permits, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, industrial production, and FOMC member speeches as well. Some of the current news that we have, the USA stock market earnings season is continuing. However, it's starting to wind down and end this month. We have retail companies finishing off. Apple announced their new iPad Pro with the M4 chip, iPad Air, and Apple Pencil Pro. For crypto news, the US SEC sends Wells notice to Robinhood Market due to potential selling of unregistered securities in the past. So this is still important because this happened to Coinbase last year, and then they actually got sued by the US SEC. It's ongoing still. So this is actually important news for crypto, and this could be why it triggered some sell-off volatility this past week. Also, Binance and KuCoin crypto exchanges, they won a registration from the India anti-money laundering regulator, which means they're going to try to resume business in India. Okay, let's get ahead here and start off with the stock market. So again, I do stocks the first half, and then I do crypto the second half. And if you have a request, just let me know in the second half or in the comments if you missed the stream. S&P 500. We had this bounce off the 236 low, 494 higher high, higher low pattern, reached all the way up to 521. Pretty significant. Broke out of this symmetrical triangle on the intraday, broke through all of these supported resistances from last week, and rallied to almost all-time highs, which would be 524. So now what I'm watching out for is, I know this is probably getting overbought right here on this 4-hour chart. You can see in this area, about 522, we're starting to lose the momentum. So watch out if you're a swing trader on the 4-hour. The 1-hour as well, only need to basically watch out for if this pulls back down. So if this pulls back down Monday, bounce, and then we fail, then we'll know, watch for an oversold pattern back here, somewhere in the 511 area. The 4-hour as well, you can see we double topped on the RSI. The weekly, however, is not really showing any extreme signs of sell-off, so we just having this nice bounce. And that's normal. QQQ, wow. Talk about technical analysis working. You can literally see this flag from last time, and then we hit that target perfectly, which is about 441. And then we have the doji. We almost had an evening star pattern almost, but it's still the same pattern, high, low, higher, high. So then where's the next higher low? We could have a gap fill all the way down at 433, just watching that very closely. But this is a significant, powerful bounce. Very nice bounce. Right off that 236 level. And we're seeing as well, it's in this kind of channel right now. Hello, welcome. I'm only streaming on YouTube right now. And we're back. So high, low. Watch out for this support level at 434 or perhaps 425. in the upcoming week. We turn on EMA cross. It is up cross on the hourly. It's up cross on the 4-hour as well. So I'm really watching for that 433 support if we happen to have a golden cross bounce off of that support level. Let's go to Dow Jones. Wow, again, talk about technical analysis working. The flag resistance target hit that exactly perfectly. So it's a really messy chart. Let's open this back up and make it clean. This is the power of technical analysis. Dow Jones on the daily, we can see here, this double bottom from last time, 377, you remember that? And measuring the W here, we hit that 2% and we went to 2%. So then 4%, the target is all-time highs of Dow Jones, basically 400. Make this bigger. So you can see 400. Now we have this immediate support level 394 and then 389 support below. Remember, we have this gap fill. I'm going to mark this for next time. And this is a pretty steep just bounce. So in terms of the trend line, it's pretty steep. And the immediate support level is right below that, like 394. Okay. So just want to watch out for that. And we hit the overbought on the 4-hour and the hourly. Watch out for hourly head and shoulders here. It is nice that we are up crossed on all these time frames, 1 hour, 4-hour. So perhaps the uptrend will continue. And we bounced off of the 20 weekly. And if this breaks 400, I mean, we're going to see a nice rally continuation after we get the next higher low. Let's finish off here with the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 still in the higher high, higher low pattern. Still golden crossed up here. Just bounced off the 200 EMA on the daily. Golden cross on the 4-hour. Hourly is a little bit pulled back, but we're still in this uptrend for now. You can see that divergence from Friday, the bearish momentum, which had the pullback here. And let's chart this. I would put a trend line here, pretty low angled trend line, to be honest. And just watch for that. If that dumps tomorrow, I mean, on Monday, 201, if it bounces, the target's 207 on the top side. Let's reset my timer here. Let's go a little faster, go to oil. So oil, we hit the 100 EMA and this 200 EMA area. Remember, we had this head and shoulders pattern, but it looks like it tried to bounce low, high, low, high. If it's Elliott wave, there should be one more down leg on this US oil. Depends on if there's really fundamental news or not, but that's something I'm watching. And we'll put an extended trend line on the bottom side here, and you can see that the support is at 73.75. If I put a trend line on the top side, just really box that price in. So yes, the 73.77, and then maybe we'll see, because it's still golden crossed, uptrend for now. Just pull back right into this area, in that zone, the support zone, see if we get a bounce. On a weekly, looks like a little doji off that 200 EMA. See what's going to happen there on the 4-hour. Bouncing off of that oversold level, but it's death cross. So be careful if you're trying to trade US oil. It's still death cross on 4-hour, 1-hour. And maybe it can establish a support level above 74.45. See if that happens or not. Now, natural gas, slightly different. You can see on the chart, I'm obviously long natural gas ETF because, just quick lesson here, we bounced off of that 1375 level, and that's why I entered this trade. And I like to see potential. We get that 10%. So if I could try to go another 10%, that's where my second target is up here. But this stop loss, got to shrink that a little bit because we're already locked it. Shrink that a little bit just to make sure we get into that profit zone, trail that up and let that go. But right now, what I'm watching is the weekly. We had this nice oversold, almost oversold bounce. On the H4, we're above the 200 EMA on the price here at this last part of the price. And the hourly's up cross. That's why I'm giving it a chance and just letting it go. The support line is 1566, right around where my break-even point was. and see if that continues rallying, because if it does, this downward wedge is over, and now it's just playing those levels of the potential continuation of 10%. Let's look at gold. It's been a while since I did it on live stream. So to chart this fresh, I would chart, if you want to do kind of the Fibonacci of 2024, the low to the high, close. And if we look closely, this looks like some kind of upside down head and shoulders price pattern. We're just looking at it right here. So this is a bullish pattern, supposed to be bullish. And put a 2% target on that. We almost hit it. The 4% just below that would be 224. And that's the second target. So this is the power of patterns. This is what I was saying on my Twitter X of, yes, there's volatility, but then watch for patterns and news breakouts. So we had this inverse head and shoulders, which was bullish. Now, if we're still golden up crossed, just bouncing off of that level. The two scenarios I want to remind people of is, if it is bullish, it has to break and hold long-term above the all-time highs of the recent highs of this year, 2024. It needs to break above 222 here. What we want to watch out for is if this thing pulls back to lower high and then it dumps down. That's something to really watch out for. We need really bearish events for that to happen, but that could definitely happen because we have such a strong uptrend. We're technically still below the resistance trend line that's horizontal here. So on the weekly, actually looking like this little morning star bounce. And the 4-hour setup was there. If somebody's swing trader, there was even an hourly setup. So now we're golden cross on the hourly, waiting for that to watch out. I mean, not waiting, but watch out for it to pull back, and then waiting for a support level, and then try to play that bounce if it's happening like that. SLV, silver, same deal. I'm not going to harp on this too much. Upside down head and shoulders, continuation setup. See if it breaks the previous high of 26.57. Mark this for next time. We could get the pullback down to 25 to really back test this, and then bounce off of that for continuation possible. Copper had a minor pullback. It's trying to survive here. Trying to survive, still under the resistance trend line. Watch out for that. Trying to survive. So now it's just trying to bounce above 29.25. And maybe it's turning into an ascending triangle possible here. See if that's going to bounce off of this way. Maybe bounce out or pull back down. Hello, welcome. Live streams are back on YouTube only. Just a quick reminder that just a few written chart ideas will be published on TradingView and X. Majority of my charts, the education or setups or anything, will be on YouTube for now in video format. I think it's just easier for everybody. All right, let's go ahead and just go through some of the indexes really fast, visual. I also want to look at some global indexes because on Twitter X, I saw like hashtag stock market crash about India stock market. So I'm going to actually talk a little bit about that on global because I know I have a lot of global traders. So XOK here, we just bounced off that. This is the tech sector. See if we break through 211 up here or not. There's a gap fill. So support 200, resistance 211. Just do XLF really quick. Everything had this bounce. So this is why looking at a lot of these ETFs is very important. Okay, it's still under this resistance trend line. So it's not really the greatest bounce of all time. And there were plenty more dips to get in if someone's just trying to play simple ETF. This is like oversold and then the higher low. This is very good though. So again, need to break over that 42.36 or else we're going to come down to 41. Okay. Let's touch on a little bit of Forex before I go global here. Let's do Euro USD. Remember, I'm a swing trader, longer term swing trader, investor. So I'm not doing scalping or day trading that much anymore. I found a lot more success in just doing longer term trading. for me, investing. But if you have whatever works for you, and it's great. So Euro USD, range bound. I can draw a simple parallel channel to the side and very quickly see what's happening here long term. So in the short term, however, it's in a downward descending channel like this. So if I do low, high, low, maybe it'll hit this lower high depending on what happens with the US dollar. But maybe somebody could make the case this might be an upside down head and shoulders, maybe. But if that's true, it has to break out above $8. Just focus on that. So dollar yen, we had that breakout in the pullback. I remember talking about this last month to watch out for this exact setup. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Very similar. I said, since we have this, we could pull back down to this support. If it rejects down, possible breakout. Or maybe I said it on a different chart, but this is exactly what played out. So now that we held that low, pretty much can just Fibonacci this area. Let's go 2024, 2024. And we'll see we bounced off of a trend line, open up a pivot point for Forex, and you can see right on the dot. Support 1 to pivot point 1. So it's not in an uptrend until this blasts off and breaks through 156.17, because you can see easily this can turn into a rejection and maybe we'll have a double bottom attempt, or it's going to break out to like 159. But it's stuck right below there right now, so we'll need to see some action happening this coming week. Let's look at some global indexes. I'll just do a flash review here. Just quick. Turn on my EMA cross and go down. So obviously we did all the USA. Let's go down. Look a little bit at China. China's still in a downward death cross. Now, what's interesting here is you can see a potential large upside down head and shoulders. That's something I'm watching out for, and we're testing that right now. It's testing the 200 EMA on the price. So if this is true, this will be huge. This could be 27% to the upside at the most bullish case. But it's right at that breakout point, so it might not happen. If it gets rejected, then it's a double top actually, and then it'll come back down. So the downside target is about 9%, and double that target would be about 8273. So it's still death cross, nothing to really get excited about here on the China ETF, unfortunately. Now, Japan is very closely tracking America, so still in that golden cross and bouncing off of that 100 EMA. It's still in a short-term downtrend, though. America is trying to, USA stocks are trying to bounce harder up. This didn't really go up that high. Let me just skip down. Still a little bit of Euro next. Euro next, very closely following USA as well. Still in the golden cross here. So we see a lot of these pullbacks, and we had a double bottom off of this, off the 50 EMA. Double bottom, beautiful play. Looks like 2% target is hit. Where's my 4% target? 1580. And if we need to Fibonacci this extension to figure out where we're going, we do a really long one like this, and then you'll see some additional targets. So you get the low, high, and maybe like a higher low area to get the extension on the extension side. So the next target could be in this 1570 area, but it is looking a little bit overbought. So if you look at RSI, it's in this overbought area, starting to golden cross. So just watch out for a pullback before it tries to go up for the European market. UK 100. Oh, it's different. All right, this is why it's good. UK market, UK 100 is in a beautiful golden up cross. And I remember seeing a little bit of that GDP data. Wow. In terms of just it's almost going parabolic. So look, you could just feel the excitement on the chart in terms of it's in a golden up cross. This is what I'm saying. Golden up cross, it pulls back, floats around or tests the support level. And then once you see this uptrend, just buy. I'm not telling you this is not financial advice. This is for myself, right? That's the general area. But when it's in the air like this, I do not, no, sell, right? Because it's in the overbought RSI level. So somebody asked me long time ago, weeks and months ago, a year ago, how do I find dips? Well, you use RSI to find dips when it's an uptrending like this, or you just kind of see it testing an average EMA. You just never want to buy anything in the air is what I learned. That's like my motto. If the price is floating in the air, I call it space. If it's floating up here in space, I usually don't buy it. But if it's bouncing off of the ground, I want to buy it because you can see the risk reward is a lot better. Even on this UK 100, right? 1.5% was the risk, and then it ended up going 6%. If somebody's on leverage, it's good, right? But this is the example. You're getting for sure 2 to 4 to 1 reward to risk ratio. Just watch out for the next pullback. If it happens, that would be a next entry point if somebody's patient about it. Okay, let's go to Sense X and the Nifty are very, very similar. I'll just do Sense X here. Okay, so the India Stock Exchange, for some reason, this was trending on Twitter about hashtag stock market crash. I can tell you exactly why that's happening. We had on the charts, we had the double top right here. Double top at 75,000 INR. And the support level that it crashed down to 72,297. So you can see, unfortunately, for the Sense X, get this blue dot out of the way. Unfortunately for Sense X, it's consolidating to the side now. India had a very, very beautiful rally for years, right? This is the pandemic high. This is the pandemic low right here in this blue down here, and just magnificent rally. So that's why once it gets so high like this, there's higher chance of a pullback. And we can also see once I box the price in, it's bouncing up against that top side resistance. Does that make sense? That's why it's not random why it's pulling back like that. Any investor who's been holding India stocks for a significant past 4 years might be, take a little bit of their profit up here. Some bad things might have happened in the country or with some corporations, but it's technically at the resistance zone. The large support zone is somewhere in the 69,000 area where it's that bottom support trend line. So that's why if somebody's patient enough to wait for some kind of pullback and then buy big at that spot, either regular or leverage, I mean, in half a year, this thing went, the index went 17%. So the two scenarios that I'm looking out for just on this daily chart, the measured move here is 4%, and it's starting to bounce just barely off of here. So if it bounces back to the gap fill, the middle half heart line would be about 73,500. That's the middle target line. However, if something bad happens in the market or the corporations, anything like that, then we could have the 4% dump, sell off all the way down to this support level, about 69,295. And that's something to really watch out for. So there is that double top here, but just like America, if it happens to survive right here in this ending bounce off of that 100 EMA, that would be very, very good for the bulls. If you want some clues, look at a 4 hour. It's not quite oversold. The hourly is getting a little bit oversold, but then there's that death cross. So watch out. There is bullish divergence. Momentum is forming inside of a death cross. So the last time that happened was back here in March. So again, it's approaching the left side of its move, right? If I'm very patient, you can see it last time on the left side, it turned into an upside down head and shoulders, which was bullish, and then buy the breakout of that spot. So you can see the pattern, whatever's happening right now is forming. We had a head and shoulders, okay? Head and shoulders on the hourly. That brought us down almost 2%, didn't quite hit the 2% target. We have a little bit of support right here, potential double bottom. But the point I'm trying to make is the pattern's not done yet. Whether it's a V-shaped reversal from a 5-minute or 15-minute or an upside down head and shoulders, copy paste that here. One of these is about to happen here, but it's going to take time if you're a swing trader. And it could take 2 weeks. 1 to 2 weeks. So we're at the start of that move. So I just wanted to end on that part. All right, let's go to crypto. Went a little bit longer today. If you have a request or question, just let me know now. I'm gonna try to end in like maybe 15 minutes. Try to do these shorter, but this is the first one for a while. Okay, welcome everybody. We're in the cryptocurrency section of the live stream. Going to go over the market index, Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin, and some altcoins. If you have a request, just let me know. Type it in the chat before we end. And let's get started here. Crypto market, TOTAL, still consolidating and still in this downtrend in the short term. So I'm going to do long-term view first and then short-term view. So if I draw a trend line from the bottom of 2023 to 2024, bottom of 2022 to middle of end of 2023, middle of this move, you can see the support zone is very wide open right now. If I'm just using this trend line on the bottom side, very wide open. Why? Because Bitcoin went parabolic. Parabolic, almost like a little bit like UK. So maybe UK and USA and Asia are getting super excited about Bitcoin, but it's right at the parabolic support level, which is 2.19 trillion, like right here. So we established a resistance and it's just very steep, which is okay. We're still in the golden up cross. But you can see the second target for the support level is 1.93. Now, I'm hoping that maybe this turns into a giant cup and handle, but that'll have to retrace significant. Like 33% is the textbook move, so it'd have to fall back right down to the support line. That would be a massive bullish pattern. But if we just fall down to 200 EMA zone, this red line, 1.94 trillion market cap, that's kind of okay too. Because high, low, high, we need to establish the next higher low in this blue circle. So if it's now like 2.1 trillion, that's okay with me. And then let's bounce up higher. Just have to have patience. Just remember, I'll bring up the chart next. In the weekly, we're still golden cross on the weekly. It's pretty amazing to see. So we're just testing this 20 EMA on the weekly and trying to bounce from here. But you can see on the weekly, let me zoom in. Candle body wick. All right, this is that almost that double tweezer double bottom from a couple weeks ago. Almost at a morning star, ready to sell off, trying to bounce here, and then got sold off starting this week. Why? Sometimes, again, there's correlations with the market, but at the same time, that Robinhood Wells notice, the potential warning and the potential upcoming lawsuit for Robinhood, that's just not good. So it kind of killed the momentum here. And we tried to break above $63,000 Bitcoin. Let's go there. Let's go to Bitcoin. We tried to test it and it's just not working, right? On the daily chart on Bitcoin futures, just starting to fade and consolidate. And this happened before. At the start of the rally, this is way back here like a year ago. We had the golden cross, that's what I'm saying. We pull back and then we try to hold this level and then bounce. We're still in this longer term. We lost the 50. There's a potential upside down head and shoulders. It's slanted though, so it's not really the greatest. The 4 hour is death crossed and the 1 hour is choppy. But you can kind of see it. The bulls are trying so hard to try to survive here. So what the price needs to do if we're bulls here is needs to break above 63,000 again, like this, back test that support level and then blast off. If that doesn't happen, this death cross is going to turn real. And this is going to pull back possibly down 57 to 52, even $50,000 Bitcoin. This looks like it's ready to get shorted down to oblivion if we don't have buyers or good bullish catalysts. But let's not get scared about that, because remember, if we study the charts, BLX is the Bitcoin Liquid Index, which shows basically the all-time price history of Bitcoin on a weekly, and you zoom out all the way, get all the happenings here on the page. I'll just say it shorter this time. It basically takes like 1 or 2 months after a halving of Bitcoin to see a large price move in any direction. However, the past 3 halvings, we've all went up. It's very obvious to see up, number 2 up, number 3 up. And that's even rallying into it, right? But this is now the highest price Bitcoin, basically the 4th halving of all time. We're still testing the 2024 trend line as we speak. It's literally right on top of it at the time of making this video. You see this in the white. So if once we lose 60,000, it's very bad, or not very bad. It's less likely that we're going to rally if we just lose this 60,000. And then where do you expect this to go down, right? Anywhere between 60,000 all the way down to 40,000 is the support zone here. And that's the yearly, like the 12 years long trend line or 10 years long trend line. If that happens, I will probably buy more cryptos in this zone. This is probably going to be an oversold zone support level. If we have a breakout, that's totally okay. High, low, high, low. Like I said, just establish that, hold that, and then keep going up. It's okay. So right now, as a swing trader, it's in a holding pattern for me right now. Nothing to really worry about until we lose 60,000. Then all the bears are going to attack as hard as they can. Let's look at Ethereum. ETH USDT. Same deal. Support level, support trend line got violated to the downside. This is why I'm saying there's something wrong here with Ethereum starting from like a week or 2 ago. Sorry for that loud noise. But you can see the upward rising wedge kind of lost that for now, losing momentum. So testing that 200 EMA, see if we hold that at 2,700. And it's not quite oversold on the daily. 4 hour, it's in the death cross. That's not good. Low, high, low, high. Where's the lower low going to be? Yes, we can have that triple bottom support. But again, need to see bulls, buyers, or some bullish catalyst blast the market back off, because if it goes below the 200 EMA, people are going to get scared. And scared fear is not what we need in the market right now. But maybe that's why we have those 2-month sell-off, right? In the halving, people get scared or impatient, and then the bears attack because nothing's happening. Binance Coin potential. I'm not going to call it ascending triangle. It's kind of more like a sim triangle. Just tightening up here. The support right at 567, need to break above 610 resistance to really get out of there. Maybe somebody could say it's a ascending triangle, but we haven't seen any significant action on it yet. Solana USDT. Okay, so you can see here that Solana, the bulls, I sold most of my coins, so I'm just kind of hanging out on Solana, just waiting for it to do something here in terms of my criteria. I don't overtrade because then the win rate goes down. I just have a lot of patience. So after a large move, remember, Solana went 1,650%, or almost 1,700% if you count the counterbody wick. Still in the golden upcross. Short-term double top below resistance. Watching in this downward channel. So we had the bullish momentum, but then we're getting stuck here because of that, probably that Robinhood crypto. People are not excited about that. It's still a chance, however, even though we have this double top here, 8% to the downside would be 130. Now, if it holds above 127, we have a shot at a higher low, and then maybe this can turn into an upside down head and shoulders in the bullish case. Bearish case will be very obvious. It just dumps all the way down to 115, and then we're really going to fight here. Level 2 is really going to fight there at 115. So the momentum was there for a very short day trade, swing trade, but the weekly, the larger pattern of, I called this weeks ago, this double top, potential double top, actually turned true, right? So it's downward crossed on the MACD histogram. 4 hour still in the death cross. That's why we're getting stuck there. Hourly is golden cross, but it's stuck between this parallel channel area. And I need to really watch out for that. You can see this. This is kind of okay until we get a death cross official. It's kind of okay because we can hold this. Like I said, just hold it ever so slightly. Get it oversold, maybe triple bottom. Let's say that happened or not. Cardano, the only thing I'm excited about for Cardano is it's in its 618 Fibonacci zone. And it crashed here. So I sold my Cardano in this zone area. I bought Cardano at 25 cents and I sold it in the upper 60s to the 70 cents range because I just knew the momentum is kind of over for this area. And the best thing maybe I could hope for is like a dirty cup and handle now. But if it dumps all the way back down to 25 cents, then, you know, there's no point in holding an investment if that's going to happen. Swing trade, I mean. So for me, I'm waiting for the next setup. I'm watching for it, and we might have found it. This is 618 zone. Fibonacci, very powerful, right at 43 cents. It looks like it wants to bounce up. That's what it looks like on the chart because it's holding that 44 cents so strongly. Even though it's in the downtrend, it needs to make its next lower high. So that next lower high could just be easily bounced to 50 cents. If this turns into a W, it could be nice and go 15% more to the upside back up to 60 in the bullish case like this, right? So look at those two targets for the future. However, if the bears get super aggressive here and then we have this dump, then measure this little triangle, 6% to the downside, which will take us to 41. They'll probably try to push it all the way down to 35 cents. Excuse that background noise. And the 4 hour is still in the death cross. The 1 hour. With these trend lines. Symmetrical triangle on the 1 hour. So just really watch for this breakout. Either high or low. There's 10% volatility here on Cardano. It's not a squeeze, but it's setting up to do something. It's not quite oversold. So this thing, whatever's happening on Cardano is not completed yet. So that symmetrical triangle will really define the move that we're going to try to make here. All right. Does anybody have a question or request? I see I have a couple of viewers. This is now your chance to just type in a ticker symbol. If you're a beginner, it's okay as well. Just ask me a question. Trading view, charts, tools, indicators, stock request, chart request, or just say hi. And we're going to end in about a minute here. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for watching and following. Really appreciate it. Oh, we got a request. Okay. Thank you, Real, for this request. GME. Oh, GameStop. If I'm not mistaken, GameStop. Okay, GME. All right, so I understand what's happening here. We have earnings coming up. They reported their earnings back in March. So if you're wondering, you're probably wondering what's going to happen with GameStop. Well, this move that just happened, this rally, was because of an upside down head and shoulders. Very clearly, you can see that with the back test of the neckline. It's about 15%. It went 56% or something like that. So the meme stocks just went out of control. It went well above the 200 EMA. And remember, I'm no FOMO charts. So if I'm a swing trader, I'm not going to touch that personally. That's just my personal opinion about it, unless there's some fundamental amazing news that's happening. But again, there was a chance to get into this setup. And again, this is according to my criteria. Somebody else might say something totally different, but I like to buy these oversold setups with momentum here that looks like it's going to turn around, the higher low, upside down head and shoulders, and do this. and then let it ride. And it's actually shooting stars, trying to hold off and bounce off of that 200 EMA. But I don't like to jump into things like this. If I was forced to trade it for whatever reason, I would reduce my position size. You can obviously see we have to bring up another indicator. Sometimes I bring up the ATR just to see the volatility, and it's like $1.63. So then the minimum stop loss should be 10% on this thing. The volatility probably a little bit below that, and then I would reduce my position size like 50% or 25% down. And then someone's trying to play the end of this, but who knows? Maybe there might be some amazing revival in GME as well. But again, we already had the oversold bounce setup. It already passed. There is a weekly also Morningstar pattern, which is a bullish triple candle pattern. So that's why for me, the only thing that's getting me excited about this is the hourly's golden up cross. You can see on the EMAs, obviously, the 4 hours golden up cross. Just watch out for, because this was the sim triangle and this shooting star here. If this pulls back all the way down to 1334, I would enter there. That's one entry. Maybe the next EMA somewhere like 1623. I'm always trying to buy low or buy lower so that there's room for it to go up. If somebody buys it now, they might get stopped out if it crashes. However, if it does hold that hourly EMA, that would be good. But at least it's coming into some kind of support zone and it's not floating all the way up in space like on the daily chart. So the weekly, it hit that resistance point and sold off. High, low, high, low. This could be an Elliott wave, 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4. We might get the last one, or this might have been the last one. So just watch out for that. Again, this is why I have such a high win rate in terms of stock trading and investing. Is I seek for the setup that a lot of bull analysts are searching for, because it has a much, much higher chance. So that's how I would play that. Basically, wait for a pullback. If I had to enter now, just small position size in case it pulls back. And then if it pulls back and holds one of these EMAs, I would probably enter in a little bit more. So like scale in. I'm not going to dollar cost average down to 0, but manage the position that way. Because it's similar to MJ. Like MJ had just the worst. MJ had the worst marijuana cannabis stocks are always related to like meme stocks and crypto. We got faked out on this so hard with that the government, the rescheduling of MJ cannabis, and we had a Morningstar here. This is what I'm saying is like with GameStop, if this happens, like it's green for like 1 or 2 days and then a massive sell-off because there's no news to really sustain it to the upside, or no corporate earnings or something like that that's really going to sustain the price. It could just fade down, back down again. Happens in MJ, happens in meme stocks, happens in crypto as well. If there's nothing that's going to hold it up, that's why. So you can see even in this example, this is the last the DA rescheduling, right? I traded this. I made money on this day, and then I was out. So anyone trying to play the Morningstar here, Morningstar failed, right? But it's still in the golden up cross. So I'm not giving up on MJ. It's just we all need to realize that rescheduling is not the same as legalization. And like all the states have to legalize, or federal legalization. It's just rescheduling. It depends on the perspective. Like I live in a state where it's legal, where cannabis is legal. And so the rescheduling has no real effect in my state already. So that is more for like the government side, but that there's so many YouTubers talking about that. I don't need to talk about it. But the setup that I'm watching for is I'm still bullish on this, super, super long term. You can see if you're on my trading view, I already talked about this monthly double bottom like a month ago. So I enjoyed a lot of this MJ crypto gains like here. So this is what I'm talking about. I like to get in the setup way earlier. We had the first news over here. Get that W, and it's getting kind of high, low, pulling back to about $4. So just have to wait for it. Just wait for it. High, low. And we kind of double topped in this 476 area. See if we can pull back. If it tests here again, because we look at the trend line on the bottom side, right? Where's that support level? Right here. Also, this is the 618 of this level. It's right here at 370. So I'm looking to enter 370 or lower, maybe 350. Because if it does that, that means it's oversold on these other indicators. I'm trying to buy the next support level. And that's how we increase our win rate in stock charts and trading. The only thing that can really flip this around is if there's massive amounts of cannabis news and legalization news that happens in the next 6 months. I believe the next vote or something like that is like 5 months from now or 4 months from now. So I would not be surprised if this gets shorted down, because once the news pop is over, it kind of goes down. News pop, down, news pop. So we had the news pop for like 2 weeks and pull back. So it needs to hold the support above 370. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Went a little bit longer today because the first stream back, and I am back on YouTube as a live streamer for stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs. If you have a question or request, just let me know in the next live stream, live chat, or in the comments. I can see that before I start, usually. And remember, if you're a swing trader or investor, you just have to have some patience now for whatever we're waiting for. And the gains should pay off later. All right, thank you, everyone. And if you like this stream, if you learned something, please hit that like button, subscribe, leave a nice comment for the algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.